welcome back to Digi Bros. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. There's something that bothers me about, like, I get the impression from YouTube comments where, what was it about? Because it was something about, on Ghostbusters, where one of the comments was like, I enjoy the dry humor of the first one, and so I don't enjoy the humor of the new one. And I'm like, and they said something like, I only enjoy dry humor. And it's like, well, why do you only enjoy one kind of humor? Like, I enjoy the dry humor and I enjoy the dumb jokey humor because I like all kinds of comedies. I like to write all kinds of comedy, and like the different kinds of comedy are interesting to me, and like why is one thing funny and another thing isn't, you know? Like, those are fun concepts, and why can this be funny without being a joke, you know?
Right.
But then there's still an art and appreciation for jokes too.
But Victor, comedy is so subjective. There's no phrase that I think I find more like baffling than the phrases comedy or music or whatever is so subjective. Because what you really mean is, I don't know how to explain why I find shit funny.
Yes.
Because everything is equally subjective. Everything. Drama is every bit as subjective as comedy.
Yeah.
The mechanics of what make it work are just as subjective. Everyone has their own stuff they care about out of a show. No shit. And yet somehow when it comes to comedy, people break out comedy is so subjective. Everyone has a different sense of humor. And it's like... Yeah. No, everyone has a different sense of everything. You just don't know how to explain what's good about comedy because you fucking suck. And because that's a thing that people say, everyone's lazy about it. Everyone's lazy about comedy. You want to know how the comedy in Sakamoto works? I just explained it in a video.
Yeah.
It's not some big, like, you don't have to find it funny, just like you don't have to find a drama show that I think is good to be good. But I've explained to you the mechanic by which it works. Sakamoto's a character that you can put into any situation, and the joke is that everyone's taking the situation seriously, but the things that are happening are bizarre, you know? And the comedy comes from the gap between seeing the emotional effects that Sakamoto's actions have on the characters, and the fact that he can manage to be cool, even though what he's doing is fucking ridiculous, you know? That's where the comedy comes from. That's how it works. If you look at Konosuba, the comedy comes from how genuine the show feels. How it has this warm sense of, like, being a real show about real characters, even though it's this weird, dumb comedy. Like, it takes place in a world where the world is just stupid.
Yes.
The world just is dumb, you know? That's the comedy. So... when people say comedy is so subjective, it's just this really lame-ass, fucking weak, lazy way of not analyzing what makes comedy work. And because people think that comedy is subjective, they don't try to learn new things about comedy. They don't try to find new things funny, you know? I think all taste is something you have to flex. It's a muscle. Taste is something you develop. It's not something that you're born with. You don't just have a taste that is your taste forever. You got your taste from somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
If you love 80s action movies because you grew up with 80s action movies, then you'll probably learn to love other movies if you start watching them and learning what's appreciable about them, you know? If you think you only like slapstick comedy, go watch a bunch of dry comedies until you start to get it, you know?
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of comedy I didn't get as a kid that I get now. I didn't fucking Tim and Eric... we thought was the stupidest fucking shit in the
Eric
universe.
Andre, I didn't get at first, and now it's the funniest fucking thing in the world, and I'm writing shit that's Eric Andre, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Like,
but you gotta be able to find ways to appreciate different kinds of humor, and I love being able to find so many different things funny, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, someone finds this funny, so it's gotta be funny in some way.
There used to be, like, Bakaraptor would make this argument all the time, and I've seen it made by other people, that Japanese comedy inherently sucks.
Yes.
Where Bakaraptor would say, if you're watching a comedy anime, you should always watch it dubbed, because Japanese comedy sucks. Because he has a very clear idea of what good comedy is in his mind.
Yes.
Which is basically like The Simpsons or Maddox. Like that's, you know, his like he's a huge fan of The Simpsons and a huge fan of Maddox. That's the like kind of styles that he goes for, you know, and like I feel like his metric for what is a good comedy is how like The Simpsons is it? Does it have jokes and punchlines and stuff? And Japanese comedy is weird because it's often about calling attention to itself.
Yeah.
It's like a character does something dumb and then another character says, "You just did something dumb." And like that's the manzai style of comedy, you know, like the Tsukomi and Bokeh style. And like a lot of people just don't find that funny, but if you watch enough Japanese comedies and you kind of get into the rhythm of it, because it's mostly about rhythm. It's mostly about the time, like the way the two things happen in relation to each other. And like once you get used to that, it starts to be funny, you know? And like there's this one part in High School Fleet in like episode 10, like they're putting on a comedy show and it's like this very Japanese brand of comedy that they were doing. And I thought it was hilarious. And as I was watching it, I was like, this is almost untranslatable. Like the subtitles on screen were not what was making me laugh. Like it was hearing the way they were delivering the jokes and understanding the language well enough to get it.
Yeah.
Because they were doing a joke where they were saying like, from ah to ooh, and then like the girl would say different things that would make the other girl go like, ah, eh, ee, ooh, oh, you know, like, and like each thing she said was making her react that way, and it was really funny. But you would not get that if you don't know that the Japanese alphabet is all based around the 4 syllables of a, I, U, E, O. Yeah. And, you know, and then they went up through, like, 3 letters, like, Kaki, Kukeko, Sasi, Shisu, Setso. And, like, I was like, this is not translatable humor. But I find it funny because I watch a lot of Japanese humor. And I've come to realize I think comedy might be, like, my favorite genre of anime in general. Because when I made my list of 250 anime recommendations, I had way more comedy than anything else. Like, that was by far what I had the most of. And I've had the most additional things to add to the list since then have been comedies. Because this year has been great for comedy. Sakamoto was great, Konosuba was great, and Bakuan was great. And those are my top 3 shows of the year, and they're all comedies.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, and I'm just thinking, like, man, when I make this end of the year list, which is inevitably going to happen, I'm going to make a top 10 shows of 2016, and they're all going to be comedies, and people are going to go, ugh, how can you say it was a great year for anime when all you had is comedy shows? Comedies are stupid. And
comedy's not anime.
I'm not into anime for the comedies, because anime comedies all suck. I just want to watch another fucking, I don't know, what do people want?
Sword Art Online?
Oh. What do critics want? What's the show that critics want?
Cowboy Bebop?
It's not Bebop. Critics don't want Bebop. What do they want? Because they want something that's like... They want something that's like Gurren Lagann, but not like Kill La Kill. They want something that's like Cowboy Bebop, but not like Space Dandy.
No, they don't. They don't want Gurren Lagann because I'm sure nobody liked Gurren Lagann when it first came out.
No, that was pretty
thought
fucking
it was a
successful,
masterpiece. I don't know.
From the beginning. I mean, people like us thought it was a masterpiece from the beginning. I don't know, like, you know, I don't think they want. I think the people who think anime is shit now, I don't think they'll ever be convinced it's not. Because I don't think what they want is a kind of show. I think they want a time period back. I think they want to be young again.
They don't know what the fuck they want.
I think
man. They want to be surprised again. You know, they want to have back the feeling that you're getting into something new. Yes.
Right. They want that feeling of it's 2007. I didn't know anime was cool. I just watched Gurren Lagann, Darker Than Black, and like, you know, and something older that was on, you know, happened to be on, and now I think anime is cool. And like, you know, like you said, if it doesn't surprise them anymore, then like they're not going to get into it. But you know, I don't know if there was ever, I guess the most surprising anime ever, maybe that's why the late 90s are so glorified, because that was a time when anime was surprising, because Eva and Utena and Cowboy Bebop and Lane
you want to see something
like,
that you haven't seen before, just like I feel like the last time that's happened was like playing Dark Souls or Demon Souls for the first time, where it was like, this is a kind of game I've never played before, and it was exciting. And now we're not going to get that again until like another genre of game comes along, you know? Like that was a whole new kind of game. And that's why people get so disappointed when they get the same shit all the time, because you want something that redefines an experience.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think. You can't just get that out of nowhere. Like, it's like, I guess people aren't complaining that anime is not as good. They're complaining that it's not a fucking zeitgeist. That there's not something that's redefining their idea of what film can be, you know? Because, I mean, when everyone gets into anime, it's because it's different. Because anime doesn't feel like Western shows. It doesn't feel like all this other shit. And that's why Western cartoons are so exciting right now, because it is new shit.
Yes, it's insane.
You know, where Rick and Morty and fucking Steven Universe are showing us shit that we didn't know was possible.
Like, so far beyond anything that's come before in children's cartoons.
Right.
Or, you know, most adult cartoons.
Any show.
Yes.
It's just a new
point
show.
Recently where I was just like, this is just like the most amazing cartoon ever made. Like, it just kind of is.
Yeah.
Especially story. Like, Rick and Morty's like the funniest fucking cartoon and like the best concepts and shit, but like Steven Universe emotionally is the best cartoon ever made. And like plot-wise to me.
Maybe. I'd have to watch
and just like
season 2.
It was one of the episodes just had like such complex adult emotions going on where I was like, this couldn't be done unless you had these characters and this story built in this way where you have all these things coming together in a way that it can form a complex emotion like this. Like, it can't happen in a 13 episode anime. Like, it has to be this epically long show with these very specific character interactions to get like an interaction like that, or a character development in that way. Which, you know, I don't want to fucking spoil anything for anyone, so I'm keeping it as vague as possible.
Do you think Steven Universe is better than Ava?
I haven't seen Ava in a really long time.
I have to ask Jesse. Well, I know Jesse's not going to say it's just outright better than Ava, but
it just feels like one of the best works ever made at this point.
If Jesse Wood told me that Steven Universe was better than Evangelion, I'd believe him. Because he's the foremost authority on Ava. And anything he says about it, I will automatically believe.
Steven Universe just needs to continue and then, like, come to an end. And then, like, you could really evaluate it as a whole work.
Yeah, that would be the best thing it could do, is to have a real ending.
Yes.
Does it even seem like it's heading towards an ending at all?
I mean, it's heading towards a... You know, it clearly has an idea of where it's going with its plot. Like, it definitely knows what it's doing. So I'm sure there is an ending in mind.
As long as it doesn't do the My Little Pony thing and just go on until it's a giant pile of fucking
Steven
shit.
Universe feels like a masterwork. Like, they have a grand plan.
I gotta say, I was...
It feels like the Full Metal Alchemist of American cartoons.
Right. I was pretty interested that my good buddy Ghost Lightning is like huge into Steven Universe now. Like, as soon as he discovered it, he's obsessed with Steven Universe and Hamilton, the musical. Like, he's obsessed with both of them. And I still have not really listened to Hamilton. Like, outside of when I first heard about it, I listened to like a song just because fucking Daveed Diggs is in it.
I don't know what the fuck Hamilton is at all.
What? Really?
No. Is it about Alexander Hamilton?
Yeah, have you not heard anything about this?
I think is that the one where the tickets were like ridiculously expensive?
Yes, because it's like unbelievably sold out shows because it's like the best musical of all time, essentially. It's a rap musical.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know it was a rap musical.
I guess it would be more accurate to say a rap opera. But it's a rap opera about Alexander Hamilton's life and featuring like all the like, you know, shit that was going on, presidents and stuff like that. But it is a rap musical written by this Puerto Rican guy who was on the you probably saw when he was on fucking Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and they did the Puerto Rico epised, and he like did the rap at the end about how we need to like save his country because it's fucking in the shits.
I don't remember.
Oh man, it was a great episode. It had a really emotional, powerful rap at the end. But yeah, it's a rap opera that has like won all the awards at the like, you know, all the musical awards and everything.
All the musical awards.
Most importantly to me, Thomas fucking Jefferson, I believe it's Thomas Jefferson, is played by fucking Daveed Diggs. Do you know who Daveed Diggs is? The rapper from Clipping.
Oh, fuck.
And he's won a fucking Emmy for it, or a Tony Award for it. He's been all over TV.
Oh my god.
Daveed has been on, like, late night talk shows about
incredible.
Hamilton. The rapper from Clipping. The most, like, obscure, out there band possible.
I mean, he's a fucking great rapper.
We're talking about a band that is a noise and rap group. A group that decided to combine the sounds of Merzbow with the sounds of gangster rap. And then make crazy-ass albums. You know, it's the weirdest music that you could possibly be into.
And now he's won a Tony Award.
And now he's won a Tony Award for playing Thomas Jefferson in a fucking musical that's like one of the biggest musicals of all time. Like, if you look at the videos, like if just the song uploads on YouTube have like millions of views. You know, like if you walk into fucking what store was it I walked into? I think it was FYE, where they have a whole Hamilton rack right in the entry. Like they have the vinyl and the CDs and like a bunch of shit. Like, it's huge. It is a phenomenon. Which is, like, you know, not often does a fucking play that does not have a film.
Great milestone for rap culture.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because rap is the zeitgeist right now.
Yeah.
Like, rap is like, all the important music is coming from rap. All the, like, you know, the critics are talking about it. It's the biggest genre in terms of sales, you know.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar just put out what is being considered the album of the fucking decade, you know.
Yeah.
Never has a rap album been heralded as the album of the fucking decade by mainstream critics. You know, like, it used to be usually rock albums, you know, like, traditionally that's what people fucking worship, or even pop albums. But, like, we're in an era now where rap is the in genre, and now we've got a fucking, like, Broadway class play, you know, opera done in rap. With fucking Daveed Diggs in it.
Rap has finally had enough time to mature and become, like, this great genre of music.
Right.
Because it's fairly, you know, it's like one of the newest genres.
I guess, well, I mean, other than electronic
besides, like, constantly
genres,
evolving genres,
And all vaporwave.
Vaporwave.
But yeah, it's been a big fucking deal. And I guess it's a pretty fucking deep and emotional play if Ghost Lightning is obsessed with it, like, to the point that he's been, like, reading the Federalist Papers and shit, like, because
it just means Alexander Hamilton must be pretty fail.
Yeah, probably. I think that is actually part of the plot, is that he is pretty fail. But yeah, and of course, like, I'm sure part of it also is the sort of subversiveness that it is about our founding fathers, a bunch of white guys who built the country, being performed largely by black actors rapping. You know, I'm sure has some part to do with the sort of cultural importance of this thing. But yeah, it's a pretty big deal, and that and Steven Universe are Ghost Lightning's current obsessions. But I just want to get into it because of fucking Daveed Diggs, because I love him. He's one of my favorite rappers.
Fuck.
Clipping is a fantastic. Just seeing him on TV and shit has been a trip. You know, like, they brought him on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Like, they were talking about his like, how fast he raps in it, like, how like the word, because he has, like, you know, some of the faster parts in Hamilton, and he was like, you know, what I do in there is not really even, he was like, in the rap world it's not really considered that fast. He was like, I can get much faster. And then he did it, like, he just busted out a verse from Taking Off by Clipping, like, where he raps super fast on the show, and I was like, Clipping is being rapped on a fucking talk show.
Incredible.
Clipping.
It's Clipping, bitch.
Clipping is a band whose album starts, "It's Clipping, bitch." That's what it sounds like.
That is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh man, good times. Everyone should listen to Clipping.
I lit the fucking Monster Man.
But really, even the fact that Clipping has been as successful as they are already speaks to the craziness of the current modern, like, landscape of music. Because, like, their first album was, like, a self-released, you know, they just put it out on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the guys who like Run Clipping they're experienced musicians who have been around, so they kind of knew, you know, how to market it a little bit. But they got picked up by a major label within like 2 months of their album coming out. They got picked up by Sub Pop, who doesn't even do rap music. Sub Pop's like mostly, they're known for having fucking Nirvana, you know, and Father John Misty's on there and shit. Like, not really known for rap, and they pick up this crazy experimental rap group, and that album was pretty successful, you know, with fucking work and
work
not that.
No, that's what it was.
No. But yeah, pretty exciting times to be a rap fan, and look at the state of the industry.
Do.
Next time on Digi Bros,
we're playing.
This is my favorite area of this game, by the way. This little like jumping on
floating, dude. Ah!
About it.